Jay, that's strangely close to Daniel Jones from the Giants. Daniel, is that you? Beat the Chiefs. Show me. If the Broncos and Russell Wilson can show me that they can beat the Chiefs, then I will start believing.
The crowd up. And so are this defense, and Kansas City won't snap the ball again. The Denver Broncos have beaten the Kansas City Chiefs.
Dave Montgomery on the Lions, former Bear, gonna make this his revenge game for sure. David Montgomery gets the touchdown that ices the game. No! And there's a flag. There's flag. There's flag. There's flag. There's flag. Snap. Hold. Kick.
Denver wins! Denver wins! Let's go!
They open. No!
What happened? Ah, shit.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the only football podcast tonight. We're going over NFL Week 2 picks as well as the top five. And no Kyle today, but we're going to end it all off with the Chives with Rick. Let's get it. America is football. Football is
America. And if you don't like it, you can kiss your candy ass.
The moment in time. I don't give a damn.
Oh
my God.
No.
You loved it.
It's 30 to 27.
No.
Chiefs win. Chiefs
No.
win 30 to 20. Woo! I almost didn't get that beer. God, I'm embarrassed. I usually get it every single time, but this time I did not. Well, either way, welcome everybody to the only football podcast. I'm Rick, but no Kyle. No Kyle today. No Kyle tonight. But what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be going over the Week 2 picks. NFL Week 2 starting tomorrow with Thursday Night Football. We're going to get into the games, and of course, we're going to go into our top five. Kyle has not given me his top 5 yet, so hopefully by the time we get there, he has messaged me his top 5. I already have his picks, so that's no issue. I have got his picks ready to go, but I'm waiting on his top 5. So Kyle, if you're listening, send me your goddamn top 5. Send me your damn top 5, okay? But we got Bill in the chat already. What are you doing streaming on a Wednesday? I got like 5 Giant shows to watch and catch up on, but I'll drop all of it when you go live. Bill, this is why we love you. This is why we love you. This guy, Bill, right here, keeping us going, keeping the only football podcast literally going. He is our biggest supporter, and we love him. We love him to death. But Bill, to answer your question, why we're streaming on Wednesday? Well, we got to do our predictions. We have got to do our predictions for the week starting tomorrow. Also starting tomorrow, just a heads up for everybody. If you guys are tuning in right now, I'll try to mention it later on in the show as well. But Kyle and I will no longer be live streaming Thursday Night Football, unless, of course, it's the Bears or the Broncos. That is one of the only reasons we will stream Thursday Night Football. During the week with work, family, everyday stuff, it gets to be a little bit too much. But what we will do, we're going to be streaming all day Sunday. Sunday Night Football, Monday Night Football. We're going to be streaming all of those games for you guys. Thursday Night Football, we're going to kick back a little bit, maybe kick back on the recliner that I just got from my man cave down here. Watch Thursday Night Football, and yell at the TV instead of into the mic like I usually do, especially me. But yes, just a quick update with that. We will not be streaming Thursday Night Football games unless it's the Bears or Broncos. What you drinking, Bill? I have got a really good beer, and it is a local beer. It is called Conejo Azteca, and that is from El Sueñito Brewery here in Washington State. So, yeah, very good beer. It is God, what is it? I think it's a Mexican dark lager. It is Mexican dark lager. It was pretty damn good. I enjoy it. So cheers to everybody who's got a drink. All right. I'm going to start writing down some of the games here just so you guys can kind of keep pace here as well. So Thursday night football, we have got the Bills at the Dolphins. And let me just bring up the banner for you guys. I was doing all the notes and stuff, and I was like, damn, I'm pretty sure I forgot something. And this is what I forgot. I forgot the banners. So you guys are going to have to work with me here for just a little while I get this stuff up. But Thursday night football, Bills at Dolphins. The Bills coming off a win last week up against, where was it? Oh, yes, against Arizona, 34-28, a game in which Josh Allen pretty much took over. This was definitely one of those games where Kyle and I talked about it. This is one of those games where Josh Allen shows you the reason why the Bills will always be a playoff contender as long as he is the quarterback. He took over in this game. Arizona was looking good early, but luckily he was able to take over. Josh Allen throwing a couple touchdowns, rushing for a couple touchdowns. He did work. The Dolphins, on the other hand, a come-from-behind victory against the Jaguars in the Battle of Florida. They also came back. Tua was the only quarterback on Sunday to throw over 300 yards. Obviously, the whole Tyreek thing prior to the game happened. So there was an arrest, and then he went off. It just Scotty Scheffler called. If you guys have, keep up with golf at all, I don't, but I know the story of Scotty Scheffler during one of the PGA Tour tournaments or whatever. Got into like a kerfuffle. Bill likes that word. Bill liked that I use that word, so I'm going to use that one. He got into a kerfuffle with police before the tournament started, and then he went and like won that same, or did he win it? Or he either won it or golfed really well. And I think he won it. I'm positive he won it. Regardless, same thing happened to Tyreek Hill. He got detained. There was an issue with the police, the Miami-Dade police, and he got detained, was released pretty shortly after that, and then went out to have an amazing game. So both of these teams coming into week 2 with, I don't want to say like surprising wins, but wins. They're coming into this week 2 1-0. Both teams, obviously, it's a divisional matchup, the AFC East, and last year, and really I think kind of this year, this is pretty much the matchup that is going to decide the AFC East. These two teams, I think, are going to be 1 and 2 in the division. In what order, who knows? Because the Jets after week 1 did not look good, but we will talk about them here in a little bit later. But in terms of picks, Bills at Dolphins. Kyle is taking the Bills. Kyle is taking the Bills. He's saying this is going to be a close game. He said it's just a feeling going with the Bills here. Winner takes this game by 3 points. So this is going to be a very close game, according to Kyle. And I think I'm going to agree. Both of these teams struggled, I would say, against lesser opponents, the Bills and the Cardinals, the Dolphins and the Jaguars. I'm higher on the Dolphins than I am the Jaguars. Tua, Tyreek, Waddle, like that whole offense is much, much better than the Jaguars, in my opinion. Although the Jaguars have some players. But Kyle is calling it a close game, 3 points. I'm actually going to take the home team in this one. I'm going to take the Dolphins. I think the Bills are going to take an L in Miami. Kind of like Kyle. I've just got a feeling the Dolphins, like both of these teams played really well. Dolphins, obviously, with a come from behind win. Bills on the legs and on the arm of Josh Allen. There's just something about that defense of Buffalo that I do not like. Don't get me wrong. The Dolphins defense isn't like that much better, at least from what we saw in week 1. But I've got my trust issues right now with the Bills defense. And Bill makes a really good point here. The Bills wide receiver room can't match up. They can't. Khalil Shakur, oh my God, Dalton Kincaid also, and Dawson Knox didn't do very much week 1 either. Will that change in week 2? Will the usage of those 2 tight end sets increase here for Josh Allen and the Bills? And, we're going to see that up against that Miami defense. Again, the wide receiver room can't match up. The defense, it's a little suspect. The Bills defense I'm talking about. And with all the weapons that Tua's got on his side, with Tyreek and Waddle, it's going to be tough for them. Devon Achane on the running back side, I think it's going to overwhelm that Bills defense, and that's why I am going to take the Dolphins. And we got Lil E in the chat saying he agrees with Bill. So Bills at Dolphins. I've got the Dolphins. Kyle has got the Bills. And just a quick update on our record after week 1. Kyle will be here. We'll be streaming another day, but I just thought I'd give you guys the update as well. But in terms of record after week 1, Kyle is 8-8, and your boy Rick 12-4. No big deal. Not gonna toot my own horn. No big deal. But I'm 12-4. So I chose pretty damn good. I think I'm gonna do really well this year. And I think Crafty or was it Crafty or was it Nick who was always saying I'm jinxing stuff. So I'm probably jinxing myself too. We got Skitty Mike. Skitty Mike, what's up? How's it going? Kyle's not here, but you got your boy Rick with you for today's picks. Bill saying humble brag. I mean, let's be real. Yeah, why not? Why not? What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? All right. So we got Thursday night football out of the way. Let's move on to the Sunday slate. Starting off with Colts at Packers. So we got the Colts at the Packers. Let me just get the banner up real quick for you guys. So you guys know, people come into the stream. They know what we're talking about off the rip. They know what we're talking about off the rip here. All right. So Colts at Packers. Let's give you the picks first. Colts at Packers. Kyle and I are both taking the Colts. We are both taking the Colts in this one. For myself, and actually, let me give you what Kyle said first. Colts, Malik Willis is ass worse than Bryce Young. So Kyle is not a believer in Malik Willis, who, as of right now, at least, as of this recording, seems to be in line for the Packers gig at starting quarterback. So Jordan Love is out, and he will be out 3 to 6 weeks. Again, Kyle and I talked about it yesterday, I believe, and the time that he was going to be out was 3 to 6 weeks. But there were reports saying that he was going to be back earlier rather than later. So does that mean just 3 weeks? Does that mean that he is going to be back in 4 weeks? He's not going to take the full 6 weeks from what I gather. So, but in the meantime, Malik Willis, probably not a great fill-in. Ryan Tannehill is still available. There's been no mention of him being picked up. So even if he does get picked up within the next couple days, we're talking about Thursday, Friday, Saturday, you're practicing with the team, right? You're in Green Bay practicing with the team. Ryan Tannehill, a little bit on the older side, but much rather would have him than Malik Willis. So no Jordan Love. You still got the running back, Jones. No, Jacobs. God damn it. I'm so sorry. Jones. Aaron Jones is with the Vikings. You still got Josh Jacobs there with the Packers. You still got this young wide receiving core with the Packers. But it's going to take the quarterback to get the ball to the wide receivers. And really, I think this game is going to be a huge, huge running game for the Packers, and really something for Josh Jacobs to prove that he was worth, picking up in the offseason for the Packers after unloading Aaron Jones. So we'll keep an eye on that running game. As far as the Colts, Anthony Richardson looked really damn good last week. Again, I go back to that pass that he made like it was like unbalanced. He was thrown off his back foot, and he still threw it like 60 yards downfield. Just think about that. 60 yards downfield in order to get a touchdown to Alec Pierce. Great, great, great pass by Anthony Richardson. And honestly, a lot of Colts fans, one of our regulars, Jinja, um, Skitty, is he injured? Jordan Love, yes, he is injured. Yeah, for sure. But Jinja is one of our regulars here on the Only Football Podcast, one of the Only Football fam members, only $2.99 a month. But he is a Colts fan. He likes what he sees from Anthony Richardson. He likes what he sees from his team in general. And really, even though they are going to be visiting Green Bay in this game, I really cannot see them taking an L here. Their defense wasn't bad. I mean, again, they went up against the Texans week 1, and they only lost by 2 points. So that is some sort of, it's an inspiring loss, I would say. Like it's something that, okay, if we can keep up with teams like the Texans, a team without a quarterback in the Packers shouldn't really be a huge deal. So this is why we're going with the Colts. Kyle doesn't like Malik Willis. I like Anthony Richardson. I think this offense is going to be a little bit better. I hope it is, because I have Michael Pittman on my fantasy roster, so I need him to do really, really well. Bill saying Tannehill wants to be a full-time starter. He's waiting for some team to have a QB with a season-ending injury before he moves, is the prevailing story. Got it. And Lily said, give me Packers on this one for the upset. Wow. He believes that Willis is going to shock him. Bill's got with the bold prediction. He's like, bold prediction. Lily saying, I'm ballsy, but the confidence for the Packers to go with Willis says they're confident in Willis. Okay. It's a take. It's definitely a hot take for sure, Lily. So looks like Kyle and I both have the Colts in this one. Let's move on to Browns at Jaguars. We're going to do Browns at Jaguars. Browns at Jaguars. Jaguars. Nope, not it. Browns at Jaguars. Okay. Browns look like just absolute dog shit week 1. They looked bad against the Cowboys. Bad. Deshaun Watson, I think we said it. We talked about it yesterday during our recap, but the Browns have yet to get any return on their investment with Deshaun Watson. He's just been bad, and he's been bad for like 3 years now. Almost his entire time with the Browns. Yes, he was injured and he was suspended. And then once he came back that first season, all right, am I back? I think I'm back. Okay, I keep moving this cord on the mic, and I'm sorry, guys. Bill's gonna yell at me. He's like, "Is this a third show in a row?" But yeah, Deshaun Watson has just not looked any bit of what Deshaun Watson used to look like. There's Bill 3 shows in a row now. I told y'all Bill would be on my ass. He's also saying Bill's taking Jags. Deshaun is not him anymore. Exactly my point. Like, Deshaun has not looked good. Can you hear me? No? Check. Still can't hear me? Uh-oh. We'll double check. Hold on. Hopefully you can hear me. Check. Check. Can you guys hear me? Check. Now I gotta check my settings. Damn it. Camera, audio. There we go. That should be good. That should be good. Okay. Yep. I was just double checking myself on the stream. Sorry guys. I gotta fix this mic cord or something. Every time I hit it, it's just over for me. Okay. Back to Deshaun Watson. Back to why he isn't him. Back to what he was with the Houston Texans. He used to be the guy in Houston. He took them to the playoffs. Obviously, he was in that quarterback draft with Mahomes, with Trubisky, unfortunately, and him and Mahomes were the only ones who were able to do anything on their respective teams. There we go. Thanks for appreciate the update, guys. It's just he's not that guy anymore. After all of the allegations, after the court hearings, after everything he's gone through, it just seems like there's something that has messed with him to the point of like no return back to that Deshaun Watson person anymore. It's tough. I mean, he got a touchdown of Jerry Jeudy. He's got the wide receiver one there. I got to look at Browns wide receivers now. Nope, not him. Jerry Jeudy, Cedric Tillman. Why doesn't that just come up once? Why doesn't it just come up once? Amari Cooper. Jesus Christ, that took way too long. Amari Cooper, he's got guys on the offense. It's just he's not the guy that's able to facilitate the ball the way an NFL quarterback does. He's struggling, and he's struggling terribly right now. That could all be put to bed, though. You have a good game against the Jaguars, regardless of a win or a loss. Now you start to get that confidence. What I will say, too, is like it's not just on Deshaun Watson. That defense against the Cowboys last week was terrible. The Cowboys didn't put up ridiculous offensive numbers, but that Browns defense, which was an absolute unit last season, looked bad against the Cowboys. Again, not that many yards, not anything crazy, not letting up huge plays, but letting up enough to where you're starting to have doubts now. And again, they're not. This isn't a defense that necessarily lost anything major, except I think one of the linebackers, one of the edge rushers on their side. Bill's asking how long before they put in DTR. I'm actually curious. I don't know. Bill. This is like similar to Kirk Cousins, except Kirk Cousins has been consistent, over the years, especially these last several years with the Vikings, and now hoping to continue that same thing with the Falcons. It's like, when are they going to put in the other guy? When are they putting in this guy? Or even I forgot which other quarterback kind of has a guy waiting right behind him. Oh, Derek Carr, we talked about with the Saints, right? How long until they put the backup in who may be better? I don't know. I really don't. I think they're going to give Deshaun Watson the entire season. They're going to give Deshaun Watson until he either gets hurt or he gets, put in jail or has to go to court again. Like, they are going to ride with Deshaun Watson until pretty much the contract is over, unfortunately. Remember, this guy's owed $230 million guaranteed, no matter if he plays, no matter if he plays badly, if he gets injured. It does not matter. This guy's getting paid money. So, again, with that being said, as far as picks, Kyle and I are both going with the Jaguars, and Kyle's Jaguars, I can't see them starting 0-2, but I can see the Browns doing it after what we saw last week. So he's pretty much agreeing with what happened last week. They looked bad. The defense looked bad. The Browns in general look bad. Paid through 2026. Wow. Yeah. Guaranteed, Bill. 100% guaranteed. The Jaguars, though, on the other side, they're going to be at home. They lost in pretty bad fashion last week against the Dolphins in a come-from-behind win. They had the lead. They were looking a little bit better. At the end of it, though, they could not come out with the win at home against the Browns. The Jags, I think, are going to have like a get-right game against the Browns. Unless the Browns defense, again, steps it up and Deshaun Watson steps it up they're missing Nick Chubb a lot because that seems to be their like rock, their basically their what's the word I'm looking for? Their safety net, really, at the end of the day, right, is Nick Chubb and how well he does with the running game. But the Jaguars, again, have a better shot, at least from what the projections are looking like. The Jaguars at home facing this Browns team who struggled last week look to be like the better pick here. With that being said, let's move on to the next one. We have got the Chargers at the Panthers. Chargers at the Panthers. Let me get the banner up. Let's talk Chargers Panthers here. Where's Kyle? Hey, Nash. What's going on, man? Kyle is currently out of the office, like Bill said here. He's driving down to Denver. He's going to be at that Pittsburgh Broncos game. So we're going to expect some stuff from him, which should be fun. Should be a lot of fun. But yeah, he is currently not on the stream. Like Bill said, he is out of the office for now. But let's talk a little bit again about Chargers and Panthers. Panthers looked like absolute ass last week. Chargers looked a lot better, I think, than most people expected. I think myself included. I can't remember if I picked the Chargers to win last week. Yes, I did have them to win, but that is because they were at home and they were going up against the Raiders. So let's be real here, right? The Chargers under Jim Harbaugh and Greg Roman as the offensive coordinator run the ball, and they ran it a lot. J.K. Dobbins looks like a guy who has reemerged as the running back that, you know, his rookie year looked really good. He looks like him again under Harbaugh and Greg Roman. Justin Herbert didn't have to pass the ball that much. And again, probably not going to be passing the ball that much this season with Greg Roman as their OC and Jim Harbaugh as their head coach. We saw what he did at Michigan. We've seen what Greg Roman has done with the Ravens in terms of offense. It has been a running offense under Greg Roman. So it's expect a lot of running. Obviously, they got Ladd McConkey, who they drafted. They have Joshua Palmer. And to a certain extent, Quentin Johnson, who I don't think made that much of an impact last week, but he had a couple balls, go his way. So good for him. On the other side, the Panthers, just bad football, just bad football. I was really in the camp of they may look better than last season. That is just not the case. Bryce Young had a very, very rough game against New Orleans. They got beaten 47-10 by the New Orleans Saints. They just got manhandled on all sides of the ball. Derek Carr and the Saints doing this to them. It's not going to be very pretty for the Panthers moving forward. Bill said that the Panthers game, I'm not so sure about getting the number one pick for the Giants. You're right. The Panthers are now looking like that team, and it's going to be interesting what they do, because if they do end up with a top 5 pick, right, you do have some good quarterbacks coming out of college. Do you draft one, have them sit behind Bryce Young? If Bryce Young doesn't look good this season, the Panthers almost seem to be in the same situation the Bears were just this past draft with Caleb Williams coming out of USC. And after Justin Fields' third year in the NFL, they've got an issue right now, but it all depends on what Canales and Bryce Young are able to muster up this season. Is it going to be good enough to have both of them keep their jobs in Carolina? More than likely, Canales is going to keep his job. Bryce Young may be the one who is on the outs if they have another terrible year. But yeah, man, it was just bad. It was such a bad display of football last week with the Panthers against the Saints. And that's why Kyle and I are both going with the Chargers. Kyle's saying the Chargers are going to probably start 4-0. And he kind of went over the schedule last night, and I don't disagree. I really don't disagree. Lily says PJ Walker, he has so much upside, carried the Browns last year, and he's hoping that the Packers pick him up. I guess PJ Walker, he has had some some moments. That's what I'll say. He's had some moments. Dorian Thompson, Robinson, DTR on the Browns. Probably I would go with over PJ Walker, in my opinion. That's just me. Watching Harbaugh celebrating with Herbert was nice. It's like the first time a head coach appreciated his QB. Great moment. Yeah, no, that was great. That was an awesome moment. That was Flacco. Yeah, that was Flacco also last year with the Browns. Comeback player of the year, Joe Flacco. Or no. Yeah, no, it was Flacco. But we've both got the Chargers for tomorrow. Nash saying his internet disconnected. Hey, join the party, Nash. Join the party right here. I will never, ever, ever get good internet. So even though the Panthers are going to be at home, I've got a really good, me and Kyle have a really good feeling that the Chargers are going to take this one from the Panthers. So next up is going to be Raiders at Ravens. So let's talk about this one right here. And we're just going to do that for the banner real quick. Raiders at Ravens. I love what. Okay, let me start this. I love what Antonio Pierce is doing in Las Vegas. I think the majority of the team is going to ride with him no matter what. Like, it is going to be Antonio Pierce. He is our head coach. We're going to ride for him. We're going to die for him. This Antonio Pierce being the head coach seems like the most sensible thing to do for this Raiders organization because he's a former player. They're coming from Josh McDaniels, who was an absolute dumpster fire of a head coach. Literally anywhere he's gone, he has been an absolute dumpster fire. So for them to go with the guy who was the interim last season heading into this year as the head coach, which is what they should have done with Bisaccia 2 years ago, after getting rid of whoever it is they got, Gruden, after they fired Gruden. This seems to be the right move. It's just that the Raiders have Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell at quarterback. Now, Gardner Minshew, I said last night, gives you a much better shot than really anything that Aiden O'Connell can do. And Lil Lee's saying Ravens all day. Ravens all day already. He's already given the pick. He gives you the much better chance. Gardner Minshew has had some flashes, especially last season with the Colts. He had put him through some games. He really got them to a point where people were really thinking the Colts were going to make the playoffs, right? Like they were there. It was really the Week 18 game that kind of kicked them out. So Gardner Minshew, few spot starts here, not a bad option. It's just the Raiders. I mean, they got Zamir White, they got Devontae Adams, they got the other wide receiver. It's just for some reason this isn't coming together. Michael Mayer and Brock Bowers at tight end, like they got their catches, they got involved in the offense. It just didn't look like it was working though. It seems to be a struggle a bit sometimes for the Raiders. And then last week, the Raiders did end up losing 22-10 to the Chargers, to a division foe, right? So the Ravens coming into this game after losing to the Chiefs again in the last, 6-7 months or whatever it was from the AFC Championship game, they're going to want to destroy the Raiders. They're going to want this to be their get-right game because they're not starting 0-2. It's a tough sell if you're a Raiders fan to believe that the Ravens are going to start 0-2. Now, the Ravens had their issues on offense. That game on Thursday night to open up the season was awesome. It was a great game. It's just, you could tell there was a ton of issues. There wasn't a lot of offensive sync that game for the Ravens. Isaiah Likely was their best target all game. And if it wasn't for his toe, that game would have gone into overtime or, whatever. Who knows who would have won in that situation? Either way, they would have gone into overtime. But Lamar Jackson seems to be very, I got to do it. I got to do the offense. I've got to be the guy to win this game for my team. That's what I saw. Very Justin Fields like for me last season as a Bears fan. But again, they have their issues on offense. I think this is going to be a get right game for the Ravens, but that's not without any push and pull from the Raiders defense. Max Crosby, Christian Wilkins on that defensive line were doing really, really well last week against the Chargers. They were getting pressure. I believe they got a sack or two. I can't really remember. They were stopping the run, although, I mean, J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards still ran all over them. They were stuffing the run here and there. But Max Crosby, Christian Wilkins, that is a dynamic duo there on the defense. Max Crosby finally has a guy to take some pressure off of him in this game. In terms of picks, Kyle and I are both going with the Ravens. Kyle saying the Raiders are not a worthy opponent. The Ravens dominate, and this game gets ugly. So we're both saying that this Raiders game is going to be pretty ugly. Again, regardless of the issues that the Ravens had last week, I think they're going to correct a lot of them going into this week against the Raiders, and especially at home. I think they're going to dominate. Bill agrees. Oh, not a chance then. Ravens will kill them. 100% agree. 100% agree, Bill. Let's move on to the next game. Again, so me and Kyle both had the Ravens in that game. And all right, we got Saints at Cowboys. Saints put on a show. Derek Carr and the Saints put on an offensive show last week against the Panthers. Again, the Panthers are the Panthers. They're probably one of the worst teams in the league right now, but that's what you're supposed to do against the bad teams in the league, right? So they did what they needed to do. They absolutely destroyed them. Now, is that a lean more towards the Saints team, the Saints offense is good, or more they were playing against the Panthers? They were playing against the Panthers. It's plain and simple. I don't know how much of what happened last week with the Saints on the offensive side of the ball will happen again this week against the Cowboys defense, who did extremely well against Deshaun Watson and the Browns. Now, both of these teams went up against very, very much inferior opponents last week, and they both look good doing it. So now it's kind of like a real test for both of these teams. The Cowboys, I think, in my opinion, from what I predicted for the NFC East, I had the Cowboys winning the division, and I still believe that. I still think last week proved why they shouldn't be a team that kind of gets looked over. I don't really care about the playoffs, about the Cowboys. I know what they are in the playoffs, and until they prove otherwise, they're just a jinx team when it comes to the playoffs. They will do everything they can in the regular season to look very, very good. But once it comes to postseason, they got to prove me wrong. So again, this is going to be a really good test for the Saints. And for the Cowboys, this is a team that they should beat regardless of what the Saints did last week. With the amount of weapons on the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball, minus the running backs, Ezekiel Elliott did get a touchdown, so it's kind of like a welcome back to the Cowboys type of thing. This really shouldn't be too much of a bad game for the Cowboys, unless the defense absolutely flops against Derek Carr. Now, Derek Carr and the Saints, you got Alvin Kamara, you got Chris Olave, you got Rashid Shaheed, you got Foster Moreau, who was doing really well in the tight end position last week for them. They can get a little sneaky with it if they start playing again like they did last week against this Cowboys defense. Cowboys may be looking at this game, already looking at next week. Who knows? But it's the Saints who really need to prove a lot in this game, because are they going to be an actual contender in the NFC South against the Atlanta Falcons and the Tampa Bay Bucks? Who knows? This game against an elite team of the Cowboys is going to be a good measuring stick game. And Nash is asking, do you and Kyle have a Pick'ems league? No, Nash, we don't. I am the commissioner of a fantasy football league, and Kyle's in it. We don't do any Pick'ems or anything like that. Really, all of our picks are here, and then Kyle bets kind of on his own time. I don't know if he does anything on his channel for betting, so you should probably go check it out to see if that is something that he does. I just don't know if it is or not. What the hell? That was weird. Okay. Anywho, what were we talking about? Okay. We were talking about the Cowboys and the Saints. Oh, yes, but Nash has got the Cowgirls. Lil E's got the Cowboys, and Bill's got the Cowboys. In terms of picks, Kyle and I are both going Cowboys. They're going to win their home opener. This one is I don't think anything it should be any game that you should kind of look at and try to psych yourself out of. This is one of those, okay, let me just go with the better team. And in this case, it is the Cowboys. Manwich and Fritos for dinner. Let's go, Bill. Let's go. We're about to do some quesadillas here at our house after I'm done with this recording. So we're all going to be eating good tonight. But yeah, so both Kyle and I are going Cowboys for this game. Let's move on to the next divisional matchup. Staying in the NFC East, we're going Giants and Commanders. Hey, Rio plays. All I got, my guy. Enjoy. Appreciate it, Rio. Thank you so much for the super chat. Yeah, we really, really appreciate you being here and giving us that super chat, man. Thank you so much. Rio plays with the $2 super chat, guys. Super chats are open. Any and all donations and super chats are very much appreciated. I can feel it. I can feel it. We're so close to literally just doing this podcast as a job. We are so damn close. but thanks again, Rio. All you got, hey, that's all we need. All right. We don't need anything else. If you were just in here chatting it up with us, we would appreciate that as well. But the $2 super chat, that is just the cherry on top, the bow on top of the present. Thank you so much. Bill's already asking me not to do him dirty on this pick. Bill, I'm going to try my best. Giants and Commanders. Bill knows this. All right. Bill's our number one supporter. Bill, we're going to go visit Bill later on this season. I forget which week it is, week 10, week 12, something like that. We're going to go visit Bill because he's been one of our number one supporter ever since, he got to this channel. So I'm not going to disrespect the Giants because the Giants disrespect themselves, Bill. Let's be real. And he's giving me a $5 here for a super chat because he wants me to talk good about the Giants. Bill wants me to talk great about the Giants. And look, the Giants wide receiver room, I mentioned it last night, and I think I've mentioned it before. Really good wide receiver room, especially with the addition of Malik Neighbors. Wan'Dale Robinson looks awesome, especially last week. But Daniel Jones is your quarterback. Devin Singletary is your running back. This offense is not good with their skill positions. It sucks to see. You hope that Daniel Jones can get some of his magic back from the 2021 season. And even if he has to run it, again, he's a quarterback, but even if he has to run it, like, to create some sort of offense, something magical, it's going to be awesome. The Giants' defensive line is one of the best in football. It is easily one of the best in football, something that I very much am jealous about. You guys have a ton of players, Sexy Dexy, Kayvon Thibodeau. It's just ridiculous the amount of talent you have on there. So I'm very jealous of that defensive line. But it's the offense that's winning games now, Bill. You know what I mean? And in terms of running back and quarterback, it is going to be a tough sell for me. On the Commander side, I really do love what they're doing. Their defense is absolute dog shit. Don't get me wrong. So Daniel Jones in this offense may do pretty damn well against this defense. But on the other side with Jaden Daniels, Scary Terry, Brian Robinson, and even Eckler to an extent, like, these are some pretty good offensive weapons that they have on the Commanders side. And we got Lil E for the boys, and go Jets, go Bears, and go Broncos. Appreciate that very, very much, Lil E. Lil E has also been here since damn near the very, very beginning. So we appreciate everything that Lil E gives us. He's always in the chat. He's become a member. He's given us these super chats. Appreciate all the super chats, guys. Really, really do. Thank you guys so much. appreciate it so much. But the Commanders, I love the offensive weapons on the Commanders more than I do on the Giants side. Real saying, let's go Denver. Bill saying, we haven't lost to the Commanders since January of 2022. Oh, wow. I did not know that. I did not know that, Bill. That's actually a really, Oh, God. The Commanders are at home. And that's why Kyle's picking them, and I think that's why I'm picking them too. I like the offense that Jaden Daniels can create. Don't get me wrong, I had a running quarterback. Sometimes that could be a bad thing because he's not looking downfield, he's not looking for a pass, he's looking to immediately run and get the first down. And that can be very awesome to have. Again, to an extent. To a full deterioration of a passing game, not awesome to have whatsoever. If it's a compliment to his game and to the passing game, then sick. I love to see it. But I just love what Jaden Daniels does with the ball. He's able to create offense. He's able to create first downs with his feet. And if he can do that while also passing the ball to Scary Terry, to his weapons, I think it's going to be a very, very close game because the defenses aren't great, although the edge to the Giants defense because of that defensive line, I still think Jaden Daniels and the Commanders are going to take this win. I think it's going to be like a 24-21 game, Bill, if that makes you feel any better. They're at home in the poop stadium. It's not an advantage, plus than a long drive for Giants fans to make. That's true. That's true. Bill makes some really good points here. Unfortunately, Bill, both Kyle and I are taking the Commanders, but we have no skin in this game. Unless Kyle is betting on the the Giants to lose big or the Commanders to win big, I've got no skin in this game. I'll be rooting for the Giants. I'm not going to lie to you, Bill. I'm going to be rooting for the Giants, okay? I hope they win, kind of like how I root for the Broncos, even though I pick against them last week, for example. I hope they win. I hope they can squeak out a win somehow. But I got to give the advantage to the home team as well as Kyle. We are going to take the Commanders in this game. Don't be mad, Bill. Don't be mad, okay? We love you still. All right, let's move on to the next game. Let me get the banner up here. All right, we got the Jets at the Titans. The Jets, after a very lackluster week one. Appreciate it, Bill. Thank you. After a very lackluster week one, the Jets are going to Tennessee. They're going to Nashville to try to beat up on the Titans. Some good things I will say about the Jets. Lazard looked good. Lazard looked good with Aaron Rodgers passing the ball. Obviously, this was in somewhat of a garbage time situation. Breece Hall had the opening touchdown, and they didn't score really any touchdowns until those two Lazard touchdowns later in the game. So those are kind of the good things. Aaron Rodgers obviously isn't hurt. He doesn't look like he is fully healed from that Achilles because I don't know if you guys noticed, but like his mobility was limited. And that's not to say Aaron Rodgers has been a guy who has been very mobile, a running quarterback or anything, but there was some mobility with him earlier in his career, and I feel like he was running a bit gingerly or like not running that fast, trying to get away from pressure, obviously. But there was something in his like stride there as he was running. I think he was like rolling out to the left side, right side, whatever it may be. It just didn't look good. So he's losing a little bit of his mobility. Maybe throughout the season it gets better, or God forbid it gets worse. But those are some of the positives. Some of the negatives for the Jets was that defense. That 49ers team was able to do whatever they wanted. And for those of you who were here during that stream of Monday Night Football with me, you guys heard me say that. Like, they were doing anything and everything they wanted against that Jets defense. They couldn't stop the run. Jordan Mason went off after there was a whole situation with him starting when he was told he was starting, CMC being out, whatever the situation. And then Brock Purdy was able to sit in the pocket, maybe roll out a couple times, get the ball to his wide receivers. The secondary wasn't very good. Sauce Gardner was out for a few plays. I don't know. It was all a really, really weird game for the Jets. And I know Jets fans don't love this. Now, the Titans. Oh, nice, Nash. I just made the Only Football Podcast Pick'em League if any of you guys want to join. Sick. So, guys, hit up Nash for that Pick'em League. The Titans. Their first drive against the Bears last week didn't look good. And then after that offense seemed to be rolling. If you guys, again, were here for that stream of the Sunday football slate, the first slate with me, I was comparing him to Joe Burrow in terms of toughness, because when he would run, he would hit defenders. He did not care. That is who I think, Will Levis is going to be in this league. So he can pass the ball. I mean, he was struggling a bit. He had a terrible pick six. And again, I don't know if he was just trying to throw it away or if it really was an attempt at the wide receiver so as to not get a sack. But either way, it was a terrible pick six. The Bears defense, I should say, were able to get that pick six. They were able to get a blocked punt. They were able to stop them pretty much after they had scored their 17 points. The Bears had scored 21 unanswered points after that, because they were down 17-3, won 24-17. So they went ham on them. So the Titans came out, looked pretty good at the beginning, but flopped there at the end. So not great. Not a great week one for them, especially not a great week for Brian Callahan, the head coach. But Kyle and I have said this too. The Titans are kind of a scary team because they look like they can be pretty damn good. This season, they're probably going to come in last in the AFC South, but 6-7 wins, I don't feel like is crazy for them, and possibly even more, possibly sinking to a wild card. I don't think it's that crazy for the Titans. In terms of picks, Bill said, I have a feeling I'm going to get killed, but I did win my week one with CMC out. That's true. I remember you talking about that. In terms of picks, this is where Kyle and I are going to go our separate ways here. Kyle's going with the Jets. He's saying, I know this game is closer than some may think. Jets by 3. I'm going to go with the home team. I'm going to go with the Titans. If the Titans offense can do to the Jets defense even half of what the San Francisco 49ers did to that Jets defense, you might be looking at a really good game for Will Levis, a really good game for Tony Pollard, a really good game for DeAndre Hopkins. This might be a really good offensive game for the Titans if they can do just, again, a fraction of what the 49ers did on Monday night. Bill said, Rick picked the Mayo man. I did. I'm picking Mayo. I'm picking the mayonnaise man himself, Will Levis, and the Titans to win at home, start the season off 1-1. And unfortunately, the Jets are going to start 0-2. But that's because they've had 2 very tough games. They go week 1, they go up against the team that was in the Super Bowl last year. Week 2, they go up against a team that is not necessarily on the younger side, but has some pretty good veteran weapons with a young quarterback. Lily saying, quit eating that mayo. I'm just going to take a spoonful, eat it on stream. You guys would absolutely kill me for that, but maybe I might get some super chats for that. We'll see what I do. So I'm taking the Titans. Kyle is going to be taking the Jets for that pick. So let's move on to the next game, and it is going to be the Seahawks at the Patriots. Seahawks at the Patriots. The Seahawks coming off a win against Kyle's Broncos. Obviously, Kyle's going to pick the Broncos, right? Like, against a Seahawks team that doesn't necessarily look amazing going into this year. I picked the Seahawks to win last season because it was going to be tough for Bo Nix and that team to go into Seattle and come out with a win. And it turned out to be a tough one for Bo Nix. Bo Nix looked pretty good, got the ball around 138 yards. The 2 interceptions does suck, but we got to remember, these guys are rookies in their first NFL game, so we got to cut them some slack. regardless, the Seahawks defense looked pretty good against Bo Nix, especially with those 2 picks. The offense didn't look too bad. It really didn't look too bad. There was a touchdown to which wide receiver was it? I'm always gonna forget his name. Tyler Lockett from Geno Smith. Oh my God, why can't I remember his name? The Seahawks running back. Seahawks running back. Kenneth Walker the third. Kenneth Walker the third did extremely well against that Broncos defense last week, and really looked, or at least seemed to be, one of the reasons that the Seahawks did so damn well against the Broncos. They established the run almost immediately with him. One of the few teams in week 1 that did establish the run pretty damn well against other teams. So I really like that matchup there. Oh no. Bill said, Titans win, you have to eat a spoon of mayo on stream. Official challenge, and he does it with the super chat. Oh my God. All right. But wait, why do I have to eat it? I picked the Titans. We have to make Kyle do it. I wish Kyle were here for this, because this is actually a pretty damn good one. A spoonful of mayo if the Titans win. Okay, how about this? Hopefully Kyle isn't watching or listening, Bill. What we're going to do is we're going to say this challenge is for him. We're going to say this challenge is for him, right? But if he comes to find out that was not the case, the original challenge was for me, then I'll do it. I'll do it just because we love you, Bill, but you're an ass. I hate you, Bill. Bill's like, let me just casually throw in a $10 super chat with a spoonful of mayo to go with it. I love it because that's something I would do, and I would love nothing more than to see somebody eat a spoon of mayo, especially after giving him a super chat. That's diabolical. I got to give you credit, Bill. It's diabolical. I fucking love it. Just a spoon. Okay. Damn. Okay. The only mayo I have, though, is this like vegan mayo that my wife gets. So is that good enough? Or am I going to have to like literally get like mayo packets and put it on a spoon and then just eat it on the stream? You guys are, Bill, you're ridiculous, man. You're ridiculous. Thank you for the super chat, but that challenge is disgusting. What we're going to do, though, is we're going to make Kyle do it, since he's the one who picked the Jets. And again, if he finds out, if he figures it out that it was for me, then all right, I'll do it. But I'll count it. Don't spend any money on it. All right, appreciate it, Bill. Appreciate it. It is veganese, so it's somewhat decent. So for all you guys tuning in, Bill's, if the Titans win, I have to eat a spoonful of mayo. And he puts a super chat on it. Absolutely diabolical. All right, the Patriots coming off a very surprising win week 1 against the Bengals. Like, let's talk about that, because yes, the Bengals are a slow starting team, and Kyle has said it. And the Bengals, I think, in the last 5 years have started 1-4. So it's not really a surprise that the Bengals have started off slow. It's just a surprise that the Patriots were also the one to beat them. To me, I thought the Bengals were going to win straight up. Like, it wasn't necessarily going to be like too much of an issue. I didn't think it'd be that much of a surprise, but the Patriots surprised pretty much the entire NFL with a win against the Bengals there. Gerard Mayo gets his first win as a head coach. Jacoby Brissett back with the Patriots and starting now, gets the win. Ramondre Stevenson, one of the other few teams that established the run with Ramondre Stevenson, looked pretty damn good in this game. The defense looked pretty good too. Only giving up 10 points, and that's after getting rid of Judon. So, not bad for a defense that technically got worse over the offseason. Bill, you're the devil, Bill. You are literally the devil. The Patriots, for getting worse on defense, only let up 10 points against the Bengals with Jamar Chase, with a healthy Joe Burrow. and with Zach Moss as their running back. So improved, not necessarily improved, but healthy on offense, but somewhat worse on defense. And the Patriots, again, they've got some guys. They've got some guys on offense. I mean, Jacoby Brissett and Ramondre Stevenson are probably it. Their wide receivers, though, I think are pretty good. Patriots wide receiver. Let me take a look at their wide receivers. So KJ Osborne, Demario Douglas, Tyquan Thornton, Jalen Polk. Kendrick Bourne is still out, and he would probably be their number one right now. But, hey, they got some guys on there, I guess. Jacoby Brissett, Ramondre Stevenson are pretty much the ones that you want to go with. And Hunter Henry, Austin Hooper at tight end, just guys that haven't necessarily made an impact at the tight end position. Okay, in terms of picks, though, for the Seahawks at the Patriots, Kyle and I are both taking the Seahawks. We are both taking the Seahawks on the road in New England against the Patriots. I don't think the Patriots offense is going to do well against the Seahawks defense. And let's see what Kyle has to say about this one. Seahawks, low-scoring game. Hawks pull away in the fourth. So, Kyle saying low-scoring game. I don't think so. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game for the Patriots. I can see a very low-scoring game for the Patriots because this defense for the Seahawks is so good. But when you got DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Kenneth Walker, and again, Geno Smith has been a pretty damn good quarterback for the last 3 years. I think that's a recipe for at least 24 points. At least 24 points, in my opinion. I mean, they put up 26 against the Denver defense, and really this Patriots defense, I don't think is any better. I really don't necessarily think it's any worse, but I really definitely don't think it's any better than the Broncos defense. So I can definitely see the Seahawks putting up 24 points. The Patriots, on the other hand, 13? I don't know. So that's what we're thinking. We're both taking the Seahawks, though. Kyle thinks it's a closer game than what I think, and he's also going with the Seahawks. All right. Let me take a sip of my beer real quick. Okay. Next game up in the first slate is going to be 49ers at the Vikings. Both of these teams impressed week one. The 49ers, especially against that Jets defense. The 49ers just looked way too damn good. They looked way too damn good. This is how you know Kyle Shanahan and this team are probably going to be in the NFC Championship game again this year. That's how good they looked against the Jets. Brock Purdy continues to sit in the pocket, get the ball to his wide receivers, no issues. It doesn't matter if CMC's out because Jordan Mason is just going to light it up. It's insane. What is going on here? Sorry, I'm getting a notification about something that I am not doing at all. I got to figure out what this is. Regardless, okay. 49ers able to kind of do, again, whatever they wanted to do on offense on Monday Night Football. The Vikings did really well last week against the Giants. I mean, extremely well. Sorry again, Bill. But they did extremely well against the Giants. The 49ers, though, I think are going to do pretty bad things against this Vikings defense. I like the Vikings offense. Don't get me wrong. God damn it. Where's my orders? Okay. Don't get me wrong. They were still able to do some good things. The Vikings offense was. But against this 49ers defense, I really can't see Sam Darnold, who is actually going to be meeting up with his former team, the 49ers, back when he was backup quarterback for them, week 2. I don't know if he can do the same thing to this 49ers defense they did to Giants. That's where I'm at with this. This is also one of those games for me where I'm like, don't overthink it. It's the 49ers. They're such an elite team. So I am taking the 49ers in this game. But it's going to be very, very interesting in Minnesota to see how both of these teams play, especially on the offensive side of the ball. The Vikings defense did get better. They brought in, who was it? Danielle Hunter went to the Texans. So who did the Vikings get? Vikings got a defensive guy. I just can't remember. Vikings defensive pickup. Who have the Vikings picked up? Shaquille Griffith, Jahard Ward. No. Who was it? Who was it that the Vikings picked up? Vikings defensive free agent. Am I thinking of someone else right now? Am I tripping? I don't know who it is. Regardless, they picked up somebody. I forgot who it was. But it's going to be interesting to see these defenses play against both of these offenses because they both can be very, very good. Kevin O'Connell on the one side, and of course, Kyle Shanahan, a rock on the other side for the 49ers offense. In terms of picks, I got the 49ers. Kyle is taking upset of the week. He's taking the Vikings. He's taking the Vikings at home to beat the 49ers, which upset of the week, yeah, absolutely, especially after how the 49ers looked, even against the Vikings. In my opinion, I like the pick. It's definitely going to be a good pick. If it is a Vikings win, it's definitely going to be an upset. This is from Kyle. Sam Darnold, the QB who Kyle Shanahan trained, is now going to defeat the master. I like that. Kyle's got a good one there. All right, the last game in the first slate is actually going to be a very, very good one, and it's actually going to be my game of the week. Bucks at the Lions. Bucks looked so good last week after they basically annihilated Washington 37-20. There was nothing that Baker couldn't do in that offense last week against the Commanders. They looked really good. Again, Evans, Godwin, that offense looks so damn good. Rachaad White running people over. God, I can't remember his name. The other running back who was actually the lead rusher over Rachaad White was doing really good. Like that whole team on the offensive side was doing really good. On the defensive side, they were getting pressure. I can't remember if they got sacks or not, but they were putting a lot of pressure on Jaden Daniels, making him run a ton in week one. So this team, the Tampa Bay Bucks, look so damn good and look like they can be a legit NFC contender. They're definitely a contender for the NFC South. I've already crowned the Falcons because hopefully, at least for my prediction wise, Kirk Cousins and that team can turn it around. But the Bucks look so damn good on both sides of the ball. And the Lions, the couple slip ups, but they slipped up against the Rams team that is low-key pretty damn good. And I say low-key because they're in the division with the 49ers. So for on paper and what you saw with Stafford, with Cooper Kupp, Kyren Williams, all that, they looked good. So the Lions, while they did have some hiccups, it was against a very good Rams team. So this one was a little bit hard for me too. And I hate to do this as a Bears fan, but I'm picking the Lions, and so is Kyle. Kyle and I are both picking the Lions. He said, I wanted to go with the Bucks, but great teams must find a way to win these games. The Lions are. They are a great team, and they are going to be winning this game at home. Again, the Bucks are going to put up a really good fight. This is my game of the week. Bucks at Lions at the last game of the first slate on Sunday, week 2. This is going to be a really, really good game, and the fact that it is in the Sunday's first slate of Sunday is kind of tough to believe. But No, not even. I was gonna give the NFL a pass. Like over the offseason, you couldn't have guessed it. No. This, I think regardless, this was gonna be a good game, no matter what, especially after the playoffs last season. So these guys get to meet again from the last time they met in the divisional round. Or was it them? Yeah, it was them in the divisional round. Bucks and Lions. Yeah. So is maybe some payback for the Bucks, or the Lions are gonna manhandle them. Chase Edwards. He's on IR. Who's Chase Edwards, Bill? Is that Chase Edwards, running back? Chase Edmonds, you mean? It wasn't Chase Edmonds. Bucks running back. Bucky Irving. That's who it was. Bucky Irving. I should know that. Bucky. Bucky. So that's going to be kind of easy to remember. No, it was the Bucks running back that I was looking for, but it was Bucky Irving. Yeah, Nash, they did. They played each other last year in the playoffs. I believe it was a divisional round, if I'm not mistaken, because they beat the Bucks beat the Eagles in the wild card round to move on to the divisional round. And it had to have been against the Lions, because the Lions moved on to the NFC Championship. So both Kyle and I have the Lions winning this game against the Bucks, but I think we're both thinking a very, very close game. All right, moving on to the next one. The start of the second slate on Sunday is going to be Rams at Cardinals. Rams, tough loss again. We just talked about the Lions loss. It's a tough loss that they took. Even tougher loss was losses on the offensive line in Puka Nacua. Puka Nacua going to be gone for a few weeks. The offensive linemen, they were already struggling with injuries on the offensive line, and then they had some more during that game against the Lions. The Lions defense is just tough. So that's probably why they had some issues. The Cardinals, on the other hand, lost against the Bills last week. Their offense looked pretty damn good, and that is without Marvin Harrison Jr. getting more than one catch. I think he had 3 targets and 1 catch. He was wide open at the end of the game, kind of put his hand up, was like, yo, I'm open, couldn't get the ball, and that probably would have been the game winner. Kyler Murray said something about, one of the dumbest things. He's like, yeah, he's open, but it's not my responsibility to get him the ball. How is it not Kyler Murray's responsibility to get him the ball? And God, I want to get the actual quote because, oh man, it was so funny. And I think it was ESPN NFL. Oh God, where was it? Because it was such a funny quote. Man, if I could find it. It was Kyler Murray, and he was like at a press conference. It was just ridiculous. Oh, I wish I could find it, but it was something to the like of, it's not my responsibility to get him the ball. You know, we'll see what we can do next time. We'll look at some things. And it was like, dude, you're the quarterback. What do you mean it's not your responsibility to get him the ball on that play? It is only your responsibility to get him the ball on that play. So it was a ridiculous statement by Kyler Murray. But this offense looked a little bit better than what I thought. But preseason again, I was like, I get it. The Cardinals have Kyler Murray as their quarterback. They brought in Marvin Harrison Jr. I love James Conner at running back, and he keeps showing why he's very good. I just don't. The Cardinals don't inspire anything. They don't. So, in terms of picks for this game, I'm gonna go with the Rams. I think the Rams are the better team here, even without Puka Nacua, although that's going to hurt them quite a bit. But Kyle is actually going to go with the Cardinals. And Cardinals, close game again, but Cardinals played like they did last week. And unfortunately, someone has to start 0-2. For me, I think the 0-2 team is the home team Cardinals taking on the Rams. So I got the Rams winning. And Kyle has got the Cardinals taking the dub. So let's move on to the next one of the second slate. And we're going to talk Bengals Chiefs. Bengals Chiefs. What is one of the things I really tried to stress with Kyler is it's not his job to get certain people the ball. It was the OC I thought it was Kyler. Oh my God, I really did think it was Kyler, but the OC said that. That's an even crazier statement. That is an even crazier statement. Thank you, Bill, for looking that up. I appreciate it. That is a ridiculous statement by the offensive coordinator. So is it like the offensive coordinator's job? Because is Marvin Harrison wide open? Not your responsibility to get him the ball? The fuck it ain't. You know? I don't know. The fact that it was the OC though still is crazy. My Google foo is strong. Bill is the Jamie of this podcast, as he has said many times. And then when I was on deployment, and it was only Kyle doing like the shows, Bill was on it, always helping Kyle looking stuff up. So Bill, we're always very appreciative of Bill here. Bengals at Chiefs. The nemesis matchup continues. The Bengals go into Kansas City to take on the Chiefs. The Chiefs already 1-0, have had 10 days worth of rest. That will have 10 days worth of rest at this point because they played week 1 on Thursday Night Football on week 1 and were able to get the dub against the Ravens. The Chiefs at home, it's looking like an easy pick. The Bengals did nothing to inspire week 1, but again, they start off slow. And Kyle actually thinks that the Broncos start off slow, not just the first game, but maybe anywhere between the first 3 to 4 games. He's going to be picking the Chiefs. I'm going to be picking the Chiefs. I love Joe Burrow. I love Jamar Chase. Not Tyler Boyd, but T. Higgins. I love the offense. Love the offense. I love Zach Moss as a running back for the Bengals. But something about these first couple games of the season, they start off slow. I feel like they may be the Bills of last year where they start off really slow and they start losing games week 4, week 5. And while they keep it like right around 500 or just a game under 500, it's really going to come down to crunch time with the Bengals this season where, yes, they're healthy. Yes, their offensive weapons are doing really well. But it's just they're losing games. So I think it's going to come down to crunch time, especially in the AFC North with the Ravens and the Steelers really at this point, because the Browns don't look like a good team anymore. But I could be wrong. Regardless, the Chiefs, Xavier Worthy, Rashee Rice, Patrick Mahomes, Kelsey. They had a couple of other guys. Gray. Kyle here landed in Denver. Let's go. Kyle is officially in Denver. Tell him to send me his top five before I end these predictions so the people can get the top 5. Nice to have you, Kyle. There you go. Should I tell him? Absolutely, Nash. Tell him whatever you want. Let's fucking ball. Oh, God. All right. So the Chiefs at home, this defense is still pretty damn good. They were doing their thing against the Ravens, really not letting them click on offense in week 1. This one's going to be an easy one for me. Again, I'm taking the Chiefs at home. This is another one where it's like, don't think about it. Don't overthink it. It's going to be a Chiefs win. Unfortunately, the Bengals are going to start off the season 0-2. But that's not to say that they can't, right the ship in week 3 and 4. Take a look at their schedule. We will be looking at their schedule later. Nash, the super chat. Oh, no, Nash. Don't you dare. Don't you dare. And Bill's going to be taking the Bengals as a surprise upset. Okay. Upset alert. Chiefs are officially on upset alert per Bill. Love it. Again, for me, it's one of those like don't overthink it type of picks. I got to take the Chiefs. I took them week 1. I'm going to take them week 2 against a very tough luck Bengals team right now. All right, the next game. Our boy Kyle will be at this game. He will be at this game in Denver. Steelers at Broncos. Steelers at Broncos at Mile High Empower Stadium, or whatever the hell they call it there in Denver. And Ash is saying, I hate to say it, but the Chiefs. on the train, and Kyle is on the train from the airport to downtown Denver. Love to hear it, Kyle. Give me your top 5 right now. In Power Stadium, the Steelers, Justin Fields, or Russell Wilson. Actually, let me see what they're saying about Steelers starting QB. Steelers sticking with Justin Fields as starting QB for week 2 game against the Broncos. So 3 days ago, 1 day ago off CBS Sports, they are going to go with Justin Fields. Now, Kyle obviously is going to be at this game. Kyle is obviously going to take the Broncos. And the reason is the Broncos will be there. They won't lose in front of me. Not this year. Bo 6 Nix goes off. Kyle is expecting a huge game from the Broncos, especially Bo Nix at home, their home opener against the Steelers and Justin Fields. They had a rough start last week against the Seahawks, all right? Bo Nix, pretty bad company, I think, with his stats. I think I saw a tweet where it's like throwing over 40 times, 138 yards, and 2 picks, no touchdowns. He's like in a list with like nearly 40-year-old Ben Roethlisberger and some guy I've never heard of. So Bo Nix definitely struggled as a rookie. We got to remember these are rookie quarterbacks. This was their week 1 game. So we have to take that into account. At home, it's going to be a much different environment for Bo Nix. Sean Payton's going to be there. It's going to be a little bit more, hopefully a bit more relaxed for Bo Nix instead of starting his season off in Seattle at that stadium, right? So hopefully for him, it's going to be a much better game than it was week 1, especially at home. The Steelers, on the other hand, coming off an 18-10 win against the Falcons or so. Let me just double check that here. 18-10. Yes. All on the leg of their kicker. Justin Fields got them into field goal range several times. So, you know, they were able to take that dub, but none of the quarterback play inspired me, or I feel like the NFL, to really go ahead and say the Steelers are going to be a really good team in the AFC North. None of that. Now, Russell Wilson was injured, and Justin Fields did okay. Justin Fields did Justin Fields things. As a Bears fan, he's a run-first quarterback, unfortunately. The touch is not there on the passing game. And Russ is going to be a statue. He's a little bit older, but he's ready to go, I guess, whenever it is that he's ready to go. All I know is the more Justin Fields start, the better our pick is going to be next year's draft. The one that we got from the Steelers for Justin Fields. Now, what really sealed the win for the Steelers was their defense. TJ Watt, Patrick Queen, all of these guys on the defense for the Steelers is what won them that game. And unfortunately, Kyle, that's what's going to win this game for the Steelers. I am taking the Steelers, and Kyle's going to hate me for taking the Steelers. But I think that defense against Bo Nix, that offensive line of the Broncos, is going to be having a lot of trouble. Their hands are full with that defense. I'm going to be taking the Steelers. Kyle, I'm sorry. I'm going to be rooting for the Broncos again. But right now, there is nothing that makes me want to pick the Broncos yet, man. It's nothing. Hope. I'm going to hope for a win. Okay? But I'm going to bet on the Steelers this time. Nash got the apples up. What do you got the apples up for? And yeah, Russ is not going to be playing. Again, Justin Fields is going to be the guy starting quarterback. How weird is that, though? Second fastest ball carrier. He wasn't talked about in terms of being fast. He is ball carrier? Oh, like just running the ball? Okay. Well, good for him. Nice. He's going boo. I'm gonna be picking the Steelers for this one, Kyle. I am sorry. But again, the Broncos. I want to believe in Bo Nix, and again, he's a rookie quarterback. There's nothing that like he's doing that is like surprising in any sense, or like he's sucking at a really alarming rate. It's just it was his first game in the NFL. What do you want these guys to do exactly? But I am going to be taking the Steelers. I'm sorry, Cal. I'm sorry. Not Bo. Boo. He's throwing tomatoes. Rick. Oh, okay. They look like apples. You look like apples. Those are tomatoes. And Kyle, Bo Nix clocked at 20.95. Second fastest of all players week one, just behind probably Xavier Worthy or Tyreek Hill, probably. But Kyle has got the Broncos. I've got the Steelers in week two. And now we move on to Sunday Night Football. Bears at Texans. The Bears come away with a win on the back of their defense because Caleb Williams, that offense, didn't do much. I talked about it during the stream of the Bears game, and I talked about it last night during our recap of week one, but there was a lot of dropped passes. There was a lot of inconsistencies in the offense. They could never establish the run, even with DeAndre Swift at running back and Khalil Herbert. Travis Homer, for example, too, was back there in the backfield. Even Velus Jones. This is going to be a tough go for the Bears because the Texans defense is a really, really good unit. It is a very, very good unit. They've got the defensive player, the rookie of the year from last year, Will Anderson. They brought in Danielle Hunter. They got Azeez Al-Shaair at linebacker. They got Derek Stingley on the cornerback side. This is going to be a very, very tough game for the Bears offense. And if it is anything like the Bears offense was week one, it's going to be a fucking shit show. It's going to be a shit show. So I don't expect the Bears to light this game up whatsoever. Again, especially after last week. The Texans played a very, very good, close game against their division rival, the Colts, against Anthony Richardson, which we talked about. CJ Stroud, I didn't really get too many stats on CJ Stroud, and I'm actually going to look them up here because they did end up winning 29. Oh my God, where's the, here we go. Can we not see the game stats? I'm looking at the game stats. I was going to try to look at the game stats here, but for some reason it's not letting me see them. Either way, I don't know how well Stroud did last week. Kyle's already calling the Texans win blowout. Rick with the homer pick over the Strouds. Good luck with that. We'll see. So I haven't even gotten through. And you guys are already coming at me. You got Kyle saying blowout Bills. Like, wow, homer pick. We'll see. Kyle said he's not taking the Bears. But the Texans, we still got to remember who they were from last year. And with CJ Stroud, a lot of these guys are coming back. Nico Collins, Tank Dell, the addition of Stephon Diggs, who scored 2 touchdowns, by the way, in week one. So their offense looked good. Joe Mixon at running back looked like Joe Mixon of 3 years ago. Like, he looked really damn good in this offense. This offense for the Texans and this defense for the Texans is so good. I've got a really bad feeling that the defense for the Bears is going to be extremely tired against this offense. I feel like if the Bears offense, again, plays like they did last week, less than 100 yards passing, less than 175 yards total offense, it is going to be the roughest Sunday Night Football that the Bears have had in a while. And we have seen some bad games from the Bears in the last 2-3 years. So if it is like that, this Sunday Night Football, which Kyle and I will be streaming, if Kyle's able to, because he's got the Denver game that day, then it's going to be kind of a blowout. In terms of picks, Kyle is taking the Texans. And where is it? He said, oh my God, I'm looking at the text right now. Where is it? Texans Sorry, Rick. Not beating the Texans with less than 100 yards passing. Exactly. He looked like Joe Mixon of last year and the year before and the year before. No, he didn't. He looked like Joe Mixon from 3 years ago. Joe Mixon is still a good running back, was a good running back, but not as good as he was like 2-3 years ago. So Kyle's picking the Texans, again, referring to the Bears offense, which stunk last week. And I am going to take the Texans as well. The Bears are in for a hell of a game. The defense is going to go against a true tough test against the Texans offense. So I hope they can make it a close game. I don't think it'll be a close game. I don't think it'll be a blowout, but I think it might be like a 10-point win for the Texans. 30-20, 28-17, 27-17, something like that. That's probably what's going to be the score for the Bears Texans, but I am also taking the Texans. Obviously, I'm going to root for the Bears all night on Sunday Night Football, but it's going to be a tough go for that Bears team against this Texans offense and defense. Nash has the stats. CJ, 24 for 32, 234 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Appreciate it, Nash. We got a mini Jamie here. Nash. Bill, he's going to take your job. All right. Final game of week 2 is going to be Monday Night Football. We're going to have the bird game. We're going to have the bird game. Falcons at Eagles. Falcons looked rough week 1. Offense clearly wasn't clicking. Defense with Matthew Judon, the addition of him, didn't really look like it improved. So what is in store for them going into Philly? We're going to have to find out. But this Philly team looked pretty damn good against the Packers. They let up a lot of points, but that is because of Jordan Love and this wide receiver room that they have in Green Bay. So while they're not necessarily a formidable defense, I think they're able to contain when they need to. And unless Kirk Cousins is able to spread the ball around to all of his playmakers, Bijan Robinson, Kyle Pitts, Drake London, and he's able to do it efficiently, get a ton of yards, get some points, it is going to be a very, very easy game, I think, for the Eagles. Nash is already saying, fly, Eagles, fly. Broncos, Bears, Giants, Broncos, Bears. That's Kyle's top 5 right there. But the Eagles, again, their offense looked pretty damn good. This is the Eagles team that went to the Super Bowl, honestly, in week 1. So they looked really good. Jalen Hurts, the addition of Saquon Barkley is just making this offense look ridiculous. Saquon Barkley is so damn good. He was so damn good in his first game for the Giants. Sorry, Bill. Their defense is a little bit lackluster. It has to keep up, but that's what's going to happen when you've got some rookie cornerbacks, DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell. Is it Quinyon Mitchell? Yeah, I think it's Quinyon Mitchell. Yeah. So Terran Arnold is on another team. Yeah. So Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, obviously very good draft picks. I will scroll up though here in a sec, Kyle. Appreciate it. Very good draft picks, but they're also rookies, just like quarterbacks, like wide receivers. They got to kind of go through that rookie first few games to kind of really establish themselves. But I don't think it's going to take them that long to really establish themselves as really good cornerbacks. In terms of picks, both Kyle and I are taking the Eagles. Eagles starting 2-0. What's new? Jalen Hurts has a dominant performance. Eagles are good. I mean, great. Welcome to the 2024 Eagles. So see, I did just say Giants, didn't I, Bill? First game with the Eagles. That's what I meant. Anytime I think Saquon, I just think Giants, man. It's just it's what happens. So I flubbed up. Yeah, Kyle, you did not get a number 4 actually. Let me just double check that too, because Nash may be right. Yeah, you didn't get a 4, but you did get a 5. Oh, 4. I see your 4. I see your 4. Never mind. He did put a 4, Nash, and we'll go over it. Yep, there you go. I don't want to give it away, but yeah. I'm also taking the Eagles. Like I said earlier, this is the Eagles team that went to the Super Bowl. They look good. Kellen Moore looks like he's calling a really good defense, although he looks like he is consistently, like, I don't know, like he consistently has to like take a piss on the sideline. Like his face is like, oh God, it's so uncomfortable. Like he just constantly looks uncomfortable no matter where he's at. Whether it's in LA, whether it's in Philly, whether it's in Dallas, like he just consistently looks uncomfortable. So that's Kellen Moore. He calls a good offense, but he just consistently looks uncomfortable. I'm taking the Eagles at home. And that is going to be your week 2 picks. Guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed that. And give me a sec here because I have to scroll up in the comments and get Kyle's top 5 and write it down just so I've got this stuff here on record. So I got it on record for everybody. So let's go down. Kyle, God, you're such a nerd, dude. Such a nerd. Okay. Yeah, Kyle and I. Oh, this is gonna be fun. This is gonna be a fun top 5. I don't know if he's gonna like my picks. Sorry, my phone died. I forgot to send it. My bad. It's better. Good. It's not better. It is not the team that went to the Super Bowl anymore. It is not. You're right. They've got a lot of losses. Jason Kelce obviously being one of the biggest ones. Hassan Reddick also being one of the biggest losses. But that is our week 2 picks. And Kyle, just in case you were not, you weren't here earlier, but our current record after week 1 picks, Kyle is 8-8. I am 12-4. So again, humble brag as Bill put it earlier. See ya, Rio. Thanks for stopping by. Again, appreciate the super chat. Thank you so much. We appreciate you stopping by, Rio. Stop by anytime. Can't wait to see you again. Oh, nice. Bill gifted a membership and it went to Liam Pesce, whatever his name is. That's awesome. Bill said 1 every stream and it goes to Liam. Nice. Love it. Love it, Bill. Liam is someone who actually does stop by too. So we've been pretty lucky, Bill, with like the ones you've gifted the last few times. They've been going to people. That stop by in the chat and support and stuff. So that's really good. Rio says, wait real quick. Y'all got a Discord or anything like that? No, Rio, not right now. Honestly, like just comment under the videos, but we don't have like a Discord or anything. That might be something that we establish in the future to kind of get like a community chat going. But we don't have anything currently. We really just have YouTube, X, and Twitch. So if you want to hit us up on X, it's at the very top there in the top middle at Only Football. And then you could follow NFL with Kyle, and you could follow me at And Now Rick on X. But in terms of a Discord, no, not yet. Nothing like that yet. But again, thank you for stopping by. Thanks for asking questions and appreciate, again, the support from you, Rio. And again, we got Liam with the membership that Bill gifted. So thank you so much, Bill, for doing that. Here's the best place because you can super chat. Yeah, you can. Thank you, Bill. Appreciate you. Always helping us out, Bill. Always helping us out. So I was trying to get people to do the super chats. Appreciate it so much. But that was our week 2 picks. It is now time for one of my favorite segments, and I think one of y'all's favorite segments.
Top 5, no debating. Top 5.
Top 5. And since Kyle's in the chat, Kyle, top 5. So we're going to go over top 5. Going into week 2. And Kyle, okay, guys, train's coming to an end. Love you all. Thanks, Bill. Go Broncos. Love it, Kyle. We will see you later. We will can't wait for you to be at the Broncos game. Hopefully you have a good time. Hopefully the Broncos win, Kyle. But see you, man. Okay. So top five, and fuck it. Let's play it one more time.
Top 5, no debating. Top 5, top 5, top 5.
I love it just because I can't interrupt Kyle right now. But let's go over our top five. All right, starting at number 5. We're going to go with Kyle's first. At number 5 for Kyle is going to be the Texans. The Texans at number 5 for Kyle. The Texans coming off a very, very close but good divisional win against the Colts in week 1. Stephon Diggs hauled in 2 touchdowns. Tank Dell, Nico Collins all looked really well. So, I mean, it's hard not to pick the Texans to be in your top 5 because of a good win. CJ Stroud, again, still looks really good. You guys can scroll up in the chat. Nash put on his stats as well. 2 touchdown passes, over 230 yards or so. So he did well. CJ Stroud not really missing a beat starting the 2024 season. My number 5. And actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to create the ticker down there. So actually, just hang with me for a bit here, guys. Just hang with me while I kind of do all this. Again, I'm doing it on my own because I'm a single mom who works real hard. So I'm going to put it up here in the ticker, but I'm not going to put the ticker out until until we go through all of them. So, and again, I should have done this pre-show. I apologize. I really should have done this pre-show because I was like, God, there's something that I'm missing. And I was like, what was it? But I was like 5 minutes away from the show starting. So I was like, I forgot something, but it's like, it probably wasn't that important. And then here I am fucking doing everything on my own. Right. So, bear with me here while I get this done. Nope. That should have stayed the same. That's changing a bit here. And that is going to change. Okay. So, Texans after this year. Good luck with Diggs. It's all good. So my number 5 pick, and I think Kyle's going to hate me for this, is going to be the Buccaneers. I loved what they did week 1. I loved what Baker Mayfield did with the Bucks week 1. We don't do names here, right? We don't do any sort of things here. We talk shit. That's what we do here on the Only Football Podcast. I love what that offense was with Mike Evans, with Godwin, with Baker Mayfield. I've loved Baker Mayfield ever since he came out of Oklahoma. And even with the Browns. The Browns are hurting right now for quarterback play, and I bet they're kicking themselves for letting go of what could have been a franchise quarterback in Baker Mayfield. So I got the Bucs at 5. At number 4, Kyle and I both have the Chiefs at number 4. So Kyle and I actually agree on a top 5 pick here for the first time in a while, probably. But the Chiefs are at 4. They beat the Ravens. It was a very close game for Thursday Night Football. The Chiefs didn't look dominant by any means, but they were able to beat a good Ravens team heading into the season. So they're getting the number 4 spot for me. I'm sure Kyle agrees, and I'm sure it sucks for him, again, as a Broncos fan, to put the Chiefs in the top 5 at all. And Nash is throwing more tomatoes at me for the Bucs at 5. At number 3, Kyle is going, fly, Eagles, fly. At number 3, again, we talked about Jalen Hurts. I read what Kyle's reasoning was for picking the Eagles in week 2. So he really likes the Eagles. He likes Jalen Hurts. He expects a big game from Jalen Hurts coming up in week 2. Saquon Barkley looks really good. The receivers, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, look really good. Like they haven't skipped a beat. So this Eagles team is at number 3 for Kyle. At number 3 for myself, I am going Lions. Lions did extremely well against the Rams. It was also a tough game for them. They came out with a dub, though, fortunately, for the Lions against a Rams team who was very good. There was a couple mistakes from Goff. I think he threw a pick, if I'm not mistaken, or he threw a lot of like incomplete passes. But they were able to get into overtime. They were able to feed David Montgomery the ball pretty much 5-6 times until he scored to get the win in overtime. The Lions, probably a lock right now for at least an NFC Championship game for a second consecutive year, if not at least a divisional game. That's how good they look. So I got the Lions at number 3. At number 2 for Kyle, he's got the 49ers. And Nash is throwing tomatoes at Kyle now for putting Eagles at 3. Egales at 3. At 49ers, Kyle has the 49ers in his second spot, moving up 1 from last week's top 5. 49ers, again, did put in work week 1 against the Jets on Monday Night Football. On primetime, they were able to do that, and they looked really good doing it. Again, you can miss CMC, but you're going to have Jordan Mason just pull up and just, rush for 170 yards on like short notice or whatever. Either way, 49ers are going to be his number 2. My number 2 is actually going to be the Eagles. I'm going fly, Eagles, fly again for the same reason. They look good. Kellen Moore seems to be settling in as offensive coordinator. He looks really good as the offensive coordinator. This team looks good. The defense does need to kind of step it up a little bit to match the offense in terms of intensity and just being able to get stops when they need to. And they were able to against the Packers, but it wasn't until like towards the end of the game until they absolutely could not give up anything, which, is a good characteristic to have on a defense. At number 1, Bill saying Eagles in the top 5. You both suck. More tomatoes, Nash. Nash saying more tomatoes. At number 1, Kyle has got the NFC North Lions. At number 1, Dan Campbell biting kneecaps, David Montgomery scoring overtime touchdowns. This team looks good. This defense is looking good. He already said Hutchinson on the edge for the Lions is going to be Defensive Player of the Year. So Kyle is very, very high on the Lions. They're coming into week 2, 1-0, and probably leaving week 2, 2-0. My number 1 team is going to be the 49ers. I am going to go with the 49ers as my number 1 team. We've got the top 5 there at the bottom, so you guys can make fun of us, throw more tomatoes, whatever it is you guys want to do. But I've got the 49ers at number 1. Again, their win on Monday Night Football on primetime against the Jets was just overwhelming at times. Again, if you guys were here, there was half of the third quarter was one single drive of the 49ers. One single drive took up half the third quarter. That's how efficient and that's how much of time of possession the 49ers had. Kyle Shanahan and the 49ers offense did whatever the fuck they wanted. So that's why they are my number 1. And guys, that was
Top 5, no debating. Top 5, top 5, top 5.
top 5. So we've got it there scrolling at the bottom, and we are nearing the end of the show. A lot of NFC teams in the top 5. That's a shift. I noticed that too. As I was doing my top 5 and as Kyle was kind of throwing his in, I was like, yeah, there's a shift going on here. The NFC does seem to be going towards the more elite teams. And, time to time that happens. You got NFC teams. Usually, though, when you think about like the AFC, you think about quarterbacks like Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Ben Roethlisberger, Phillip Rivers to an extent. Like for the longest time, the AFC was the cream of the crop, and now it's starting to look like it's shifting towards the NFC. But yes, I also noticed that, Bill. I don't have any chives, unfortunately. I'm not Kyle. I'm not good with the chives, so we're not going to be able to do any chives today. But I do just want to say thank you guys so much for being here, for all the support, for all the super chats. Rio with a super chat. Bill doing another one for Rio. Lil E for the boys as well. And Bill, of course, with a challenge for a spoonful of mayo. And of course, he gifted an Only Football podcast membership. The Only Football fan membership went to Liam Pesce, someone who is here quite a bit. I have one. Bill, give me your chives as soon as you can type. But I do just want to say thank you guys for all the support. Honestly, as of recently, it's been really motivating to see all the memberships, to see the people stopping in, to get the super chats. Casey and Bill also donate as well through PayPal. And it's just really, really motivating and inspiring. So I guess this is kind of my chives. This is the support that you guys give me. But it's really inspiring for me to see something like that, because I never would have thought I'd be doing this and I'd be getting paid to an extent for doing this, for streaming. So I really just want to give a huge shout out and a big thank you to you guys who are supporting. Bill especially, who was our biggest supporter, and his chives. LPG, the Giants super fan, was part of the 9/11 cleanup crew with him and his brother. I never knew. Wow. That's crazy. What does LPG mean? Is that just his name, or does that mean something? That's awesome. I did kind of forget, kind of getting caught up in the predictions and stuff, that it is the 23rd anniversary of 9/11. So that's an awesome little nook of information there. So good for him. For him to be there, to be part of that group, I'm sure was really kind of like humbling for him, and kind of, I don't want to say cool experience, but kind of a cool experience. You know what I mean? Like to be there when it all happened after it, and just kind of helping the city try to get back on its feet after that. So again, that's really cool information there, Bill. And again, thank you guys to all of you guys who supported us today, who have supported us in the past, and who will support us in the future. We always appreciate you guys in the comments during the stream, during our live streams. We could not be here doing this without you guys, and we enjoy every second of it. Rick, you froze a couple times, 5 seconds at the most. God damn it. Of course I did. I always freeze. I'm never going to have good internet. That's going to be my downfall. And that's just going to be my thing. But anyway, thank you guys so much. Go follow us on X at And Now Rick and NFL with Kyle. And of course, at Only Football Pod on X. Please like this video, like this stream. Hit that subscribe button. Become a member of the Only Football Fam for only $2.99 a month. You get access to emojis. You get shout outs at the end of it if you're in the chat with us. We're putting up members only polls. I'll probably put one up after this stream as well. So make sure to go ahead and go look at that poll and vote on it as well. So thank you guys so much. Again, please like the video if you haven't already. It would mean a lot to us and the algorithm. Appreciate you guys, and we will unfortunately not be streaming Thursday Night Football. I know a few of you guys weren't here earlier when I said that, so we won't be streaming Thursday Night Football anymore. Again, everyday life, family, work, friends, sanity, for example. Like, I love being here in front of the computer screen with you guys and talking with you guys. But sometimes I need that break. My eyes need that break, and I need to just lay on my recliner and just watch some football with some pizza, eating some chips, drinking some beer. But I hope you guys can understand that. And again, we appreciate all the support. Always will. And thank you guys so much for being on the show. Bill saying, get Starlink. I think I'm going to have to at this point. I'm going to need a Starlink. I'm going to need something. So the Pick'em League that Nash made is called the Only Football Podcast. That is the name. So we appreciate that. Nash, if you guys want to go join that Pick'em League, go ahead. The Only Football Podcast is the name of the league. Bill saying all good. Appreciate the love, guys. Thank you guys so much. Again, go follow us on X, Twitch, on YouTube. Subscribe, become a member of the Only Football Fam. Cannot wait to see you guys on Sunday for week 2. Bill, I think I'm going to try the wired connection. Please hook me up, Bill. Let me know. Thank you guys so much. And we will see you guys next time. Chat. Always a good time, brothers. See ya.